Instead of another phase of the ceasefire, a return to full-scale war, a black scenario is beginning to materialize in the Gaza Strip. Last weekend marked the expiration of the first phase of the ceasefire, which was supposed to automatically transition into a second phase. However, this did not happen. Both sides are preparing to resume fighting. Israel is demanding the release of all hostages remaining in the hands of Hamas, while the militants, in turn, want the withdrawal of Israeli forces from the entire occupied part of the Gaza Strip. Withholding humanitarian aid and threatening to cut off water and electricity supplies, Israel implements drastic measures after Hamas rejects the proposal to extend the first phase of the ceasefire. I say to Hamas, if you do not release our hostages, there will be consequences that you cannot imagine. Over the weekend, the deadline stipulated in an agreement reached in mid-January passed. According to that agreement, Tel Aviv was to now withdraw all its forces from Gaza. The problem is that Israel makes its occupation of the Gaza Strip conditional on the release of all hostages held by the terrorists.
You don't have an agreement.
We have no agreement on Phase 2. We demand the complete demilitarization of Gaza, Hamas, and Islamic Jihad, and that they give us back the hostages. If they agree to this, we can implement it even tomorrow. Hamas does not want to agree to extend the ceasefire under the original terms. Hence, both sides are threatening to resume the war. With such an action, the Israeli occupier is pushing to return everything to the starting point and cancel the agreement through its proposed alternatives, such as extending the first phase or creating an intermediate phase. This is not in line with what was stated in the agreement signed by both sides. The situation in the Middle East is being closely watched by Washington, D.C. The United States has committed to implementing the first phase of the agreement. In Israel, it is recognized that Donald Trump personally contributed to the ceasefire. He now admits that the negotiation decisions are up to Israel.
Decision has to be made by Israel, by Bibi, but Israel has to make that decision. We got a lot of hostages back. But it's very sad what happened to those people. I mean, you had a young lady with her hand practically blown off.
Today, Tel Aviv is leaving no illusions to Hamas. Either they release all the hostages, or all hell will break loose. If Hamas does not release the hostages soon, the gates of Gaza will be closed and the gates of hell will open. We will return to the fight, and they will confront the Israel Defense Forces with might and in a way they have never known until total victory. We will never allow Hamas to control Gaza. On the other side, however, is the coalition supporting Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran. Tehran has just revealed that the subject of Iran's nuclear program has come up in Washington-Moscow talks. The Iranian nuclear issue is discussed between Russia and the U.S. as an international issue, but the important thing is that whatever is done on the Iranian nuclear issue will certainly not be done without Iran's opinion. This means that the Americans' diplomatic game is being played on many levels. Tehran is one of the biggest threats to Washington today. Hence, it is almost certain that with the current policy towards Europe, the United States will strengthen its position in the Middle East, using the Iran cards to raise the stakes of negotiations, for example, on the Ukraine issue.